Hi, good morning. Welcome to Business. My name is Daryl Kwao. Government is being urged to set up a special fund for tech startups to help boost the country's technology and innovation space. Access to capital has always been a major challenge for startups in the country, including tech startups, despite government's interest in digital technology. Speaking to Joy Business, the manager of the Accra Digital Center, Eric Ofusu in Kansas, said setting up a fund for tech entrepreneurs will help expand the space.
With a strong support from the Vice President, Ghana has begun a digitization agenda aimed at helping formalize the economy. The introduction of the mobile interoperability system and paperless port are among several initiatives by government to support the digital drive. But speaking to Joy Business, manager for the Accra Digital Center suggested the setup of a fund to support entrepreneurs in the tech space.
What we are looking at is a dedicated fund which will focus mainly on tech, so that tech entrepreneurs wouldn't have to compete with people in other industries for funding to go about their business. Infrastructure is also very important. ADC alone has created about 2,000 jobs and onboarded 40 technology companies. So you can imagine how many jobs we can create. We have similar facilities in the middle part of the country, in the northern part. Government's intention is to set up similar facilities in Kumasi, Tamale, and Western Region, Takrady, in the next few years, so that we can replicate the success of the Accra Digital Center and also create digital job opportunities for the youth.
Meanwhile, Country Director for Oracle Ghana, Frank Asari, also noted the tech ecosystem needs cheaper data to thrive.
I think I've seen a lot of progress. What we need is to have cheap internet to be able to access, and that I think is still a challenge. 5G is not enough. We need the Wi-Fi enabled type of network, and we need to look at that. But I think I've seen a willing government, I've seen willing leadership, so I don't want to stop there. I think they've done well, and they just need to be encouraged. I think that if you look at the careers of life, they use other forms of internet for data access, which is not necessarily 5G, 3G, or 4G. So we need to look at that. But 5G is good, because it allows us to do a lot of Internet of Things, but we need to bring that cost down.
For Joy Business, Sheila Tamaklo reporting.
Now, the Chief Executive of Stanbic Bank Ghana, Al-Hassan Andani, has said there is enough funding for small and medium-scale enterprises. However, the funds are not efficiently managed. Mr. Andani is calling for best practices to be followed through to ensure SMEs benefit from existing funding opportunities.
The manner of intervention is been fraught with some gaps. You know, when you say an equity fund, the disciplines around managing that equity fund, selecting the beneficiaries, and following their progress and ensuring there's a clear exit plan. At what point do you exit these entities, with that supported fund? Those disciplines have been lacking. Whether you go back as far back as the middle 80s, where we had all sorts of World Bank, FOSMED, name them. All sorts of funds have come through. The central bank, government itself, all the governments have set up various kind of funds to assist SMEs. But the manner of administrating these funds have been, found wanting. So the idea is that, for me, the quantum of funds available has been there, but it's just the vehicles that we create with the right disciplines to manage it, which has been lacking.
Is there best
so we
practice
do hope
somewhere that we're hoping that we could just copy?
Oh yes, there's best practice. There's best practice. I mean, if you go back to even Japan after the Second World War, how did they create all the global companies that we see today? They created them through state equity funds and state processes of monitoring the progress and how they help them to grow. There are great lessons for Ghana to learn from post Second World War Japan industrial development.
The Minister of Tourism, Barbara Otinjesi, has told Joy Business that her outfit will be considering an increment in the tourism levy paid by tour operators in the country. According to her, the current rate of 1% paid by operators is not enough to develop sites. Though the minister is hoping for private partnership to support government's plans for the sector, she believes an upward adjustment in the levy is crucial at this time.
The tourism sector is public sector led, but it's private sector driven. So we are also looking at how we can get private sector on board for some of the projects that we need to do, so that we put in place public-private partnership to ensure that we can diversify our tourism industry. So we don't want so much to burden the industry by increasing the levy. We are looking at it. Maybe a little increment will come, but we also have to look at the private sector to come on board to support the industry.
Mobilization, are the people paying? Those who are not paying, no sanction for them. There are many hotels, some are not paying.
That is the issue that I raised, the mobilization. We have not been able to ensure that all the establishments are paying. So we are strengthening our mobilization to ensure that we bring everybody within. But aside from that, we are also looking at the possibility of a little increments in the rates, and then also the public-private partnership.
All right, and that's it for business. It's back to you, Bernice.
Thank you very much, Daryl. Coming up shortly in sports, we continue our build-up to the transfer countdown show. Do stay.